2016, Attorney General William Barr is expected to release the Mueller report on Thursday.
Wendy Patrick now joining us with more on what this means. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
So we know that this report being released Thursday is going to be heavily redacted. How much are we really going to learn from this report?
Isn't that the question, Chris? We've waited so long to see the actual report. Remember, everybody was excited to an extent when we had Barr's op-ed, right, the 4-page summary. But that didn't really satisfy either side. We want to know exactly on what bases those conclusions were reached. What's the underlying facts and circumstances that caused Mueller to conclude as he did, or to fail to make a conclusion in terms of the obstruction of justice.
And it's about 400 pages, right?
That's right. Here we are, Chris, at Holy Week, where we are rolling into Easter weekend, and everybody is preoccupied. I shouldn't say everybody. Plenty of us are actually preparing for Easter. But politically, in Congress, that's all we have them talking about is what are they going to see, and more importantly, Chris, to your question, what is going to be redacted? It is human nature for us to want to know most about what is behind those black marks, or I should say, the color-coded redactions, as we now understand they're going to be presented as.
So it all boils down really to, and you see Robert Mueller there, he found no conspiracy between Trump or any of his associates and any Russia interference with the 2016 election. But what about obstruction? Doesn't it come down to conspiracy versus obstruction?
Well, it's interesting, Chris, that he used the term collusion as opposed to conspiracy in the quotation, the one quotation we have via Barr from the Mueller report. So your question is a good one. We want to know whether or not there was actually any type of evidence of conspiracy or collusion, because remember that simply saying you can't go forward doesn't mean there wasn't any evidence. That's really what the Democrats have been hanging their hat on. I mean, Republicans want to know that too. But they want to know even more about the obstruction of justice and why Mueller didn't reach a conclusion there. Why didn't he say the same thing there than he did about whether or not there was collusion? That gets us into, will that very important question, will those facts be the ones that are redacted?
So suddenly I feel like last month everyone was saying no collusion was found, we can kind of move on, the president was really excited. I feel like we're kind of back to square one. So if nothing major is found, let's just say nothing major is found, what do you think? What happens from there? I feel like people are already planning what they're going to be investigating next.
They are. Not only are they already planning it, Christina, but they already have prepared rebuttals. Now, why would you do that if you thought it was just good news? And that doesn't necessarily mean that lawyers like Giuliani will ever deliver these rebuttals. Maybe it'll be better news than they think. But I guarantee you this is not the end. The redactions are what everybody is most interested in. And we know that because remember we've talked about subpoenas, and Congress is saying we will not rest until we see what is behind those black marks. We want to know sources and methods. We want to know the information that maybe the public can't see. The problem is it's going to leak. So this is the delicate balancing test that we have now. Now when Thursday comes, we get the report. How much, if anything, beyond what's publicly available will Congress be entitled to see?
Real quickly, the best defense is good offense. And this is how President Trump has conducted himself in business for many years as well.
That's right.
Investigating the investigators, going after the FBI itself, and what triggered this investigation into meddling, where does that stand now?
Well, as of this morning, that's still on the president's agenda. He still believes that that should also be a focus of inquiry. He gains a lot of steam in saying that from what Barr said when he testified last week about, he used the term spying. That's an emotionally loaded term. It's a fighting word, actually, spying as opposed to investigating. So he'll absolutely want to know more about it, particularly, Chris, if there's bad news in the Mueller report.
What a week this is going to be. All right, we'll have you back Thursday for sure,
okay,
right?
I'll be here.
Wendy Patrick, thank you so much as always. Appreciate it.